I just spent 13 weeks waiting for my passport, and it was stressful because I ended up receiving it 5 days before I left for my Mexico trip, the trip that I'm about to take right now. But I'll be honest, I was emotional. Tears were shed this week, but I finally feel like I understand the US passport system, and it would have been a much smoother process had I known that I had options. So I thought it'd be wise to make this video and kind of let you all know of my experience, give you some options, kind of put the ball in your court, as well as share with you a couple hacks on how to get your passport fast and really how to reduce your stress level, because that was the biggest thing for me. So let's get into it. So when you apply for your passport, whether online or in person or through the mail, your current passport gets invalidated immediately, which is kind of a stupid process because you kind of get trapped in this travel purgatory where you can't travel internationally, even though you might have a passport that was valid, but you also can't travel yet because you haven't got your new passport. So just something to be aware of. So when you apply for a passport, you have to specify whether you want standard processing or expedited processing. And the timeframes for both of these are kind of always changing, but at the very least, I would add 4 weeks to each of these estimates, because that's what they are, they're estimates, just to be safe, especially if you're applying before summer, because that's when processing times are the longest. The US government is the only entity that can issue passports. If you go through a service like rushmypassport.com or Fast Passport or whatever, that's a middleman. You're introduced to a middleman who essentially they're just going to do all the work for you, but you're going to pay top dollar to use them. And some of these are legitimate sites and some are scams. So be careful. Now, if you apply for a passport the traditional way and then later on want to use an expediting service or one of these other methods, you can't because you already have a pending application. So right at the top, you have to decide, are you going to go the traditional way, right through the government, or are you going to use a middleman or a fast passport service? You can't switch halfway. And the government recently did a pilot program where you can renew online, and it was supposed to be super streamlined and easy. Supposed to. I know that it wasn't that way because that's the way that I did it. You went to the online portal, you applied online, and it seemed like all was well, except for the fact that it caused a giant backlog in all of these applications, took way longer than they should have, and they've since put the program on pause. If I was to do this again, I would just go through the mail, the traditional way, the oldest method that they have. Just apply through the mail and everything will be fine, hopefully. All right, so you've applied for your passport and it's getting down to the wire. Or maybe you haven't applied for your passport, but you all of a sudden have urgent travel, which for the US government, urgent travel in regards to getting your passport is two things. Death of an immediate family member that requires you to go to another country, and it has to be provable, death certificate, etc., or provable international travel in the next 5 days. If you qualify for one of these things, you might be able to get an in-person appointment at a travel agency. There's only 25 of them around the US, and if you do get an appointment, it usually allows you to get a passport same day or next day printing. So here's the thing though, it used to be you could get an appointment within 14 days. Now it's within 5 business days. You used to be able to walk in and get an appointment. That's no longer the case. So there's this whole new strategy involved in how to actually ensure you get an appointment. So here's what you have to do, because I had to do this. You have to call. They open at 8 a.m. Eastern, 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can't call at 5:01 or 5:02. It's gonna be an hour and a half wait. Call at 4:59 or 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time right when they open. And you'll probably have even like a half an hour to an hour wait at that point. I did this 4 mornings in a row and I averaged probably about an hour and a half wait. One of the times I had like a 10-minute wait. It was great. I called right at 4:59 and you're gonna hear a busy tone. It's gonna sound like this. You just have to keep calling until you get through. This is a game of perseverance. And honestly, there was one morning where I called 70 times and I finally got through. And so what happens is once you finally get through, you have to request, hey, I've got provable urgent travel. I'd like an appointment. And they look around all the offices, ideally the one near you, and try to find an appointment that suits your need. But, it's going to be within 5 business days of you actually traveling. So that's the tough part. You just have to deal with it. And that's a lot of extra stress, but if it means you get to go on your trip, it's worth it. So for me, I'm in Portland. They looked up in Seattle, they didn't have one. So then they booked me one in Texas that I literally was gonna have to fly to Texas to get an in-person appointment because everything in Seattle was booked. Called back a little while later, one had opened up in Seattle. Tried to book it, someone took it. So then we booked one in Denver. So I was like, at the very least, I can at least go to Denver instead of Texas. Long story short, this is a game of perseverance. You have to call early, or else all the appointments are gonna be booked up. And I mean, best case scenario, you don't have to do this. This really is a last resort. So the problem with the previous process is, who wants to wait to the very last minute to ensure that they get themselves a passport, or just even an appointment at the agency? So here's the hack. Maybe like a month before you leave, just so you give yourself enough time if anything goes awry, book a refundable international flight. It could be Portland to Puerto Vallarta or JFK to Europe, but make sure it's refundable, because that will allow you to essentially prove that you have international travel, even though it's a refundable ticket and you have no actual intention of going on the trip. It'll at least allow you to get an appointment. I'm speaking too fast and it's like 3 in the morning. So pretty much book the refundable ticket, then you can call and get a preferred appointment, whether it's at like your closest passport agency or the preferred time that you're looking for. Book it, and then once you actually have passport in hand, cancel your ticket, get your refund, and get out of there. So that's hack number 4. All right. And the final hack is to contact your senator. So contact your senator or your state representative. So when I was about 2 weeks out from getting my passport, I was kind of getting nervous, so I posted on Instagram, and I actually found out that my friend had actually had success reaching out to the representative. So I did the same thing. I emailed them, I faxed them, I called the phone number, and within about 4 business days, they got back to me. By that time, I'd already received my passport, but I had a lengthy conversation with them, and they pretty much outlined exactly how they're able to help you. And the fact is that they have backdoor access to some of the government agencies where they can get you your passport expedited, or they can get you an appointment at a passport agency where otherwise that agency would say, we have no appointments available. They're like, well, we can get you an appointment because we work with delegates in that area. So that's the last hack, is to contact your senators, but you're gonna have to do it at least 2 weeks in advance, just because of the time that it takes for them to get back to you. But if they do, they're gonna help you out. All right, and if you want to hear all about everything that happened during my experience, I'm gonna put that in the description below. The tears, the drama, the stress. I hadn't cried in like 1.5 years before this, but alas, it happened. But honestly, I hope this was helpful, and I hope that you check out some of my international videos, as that's what this is all about. So, how to spend $100 in Lake Como, how far it gets you. What is the average day look like? What does the average day look like in Tuscany? How to spend 24 hours in Cinque Terre? And I'm headed off to Mexico, so my Mexico videos will be up in a few weeks. We'll see you there.